Hi everyone, my name's Cara. I'm one of the intelligence strategists at Creative Brief, and part of my role is to inspire people with creative work from the industry. So I'm going to start by introducing the first topic by doing that. So moving from the ad slot into the editorial slot, I just want to start by reading two quotes to you. 23% of internet browsers have some form of ad blocker installed, with that number expected to rise to 43% each year. And 94% of displayed ads are skipped immediately after the skip button is displayed. I think we're all guilty of skipping past ads on TV that were recorded or in magazines. So if I was a brave person, I might say that people don't like watching ads. That said, there's more channels, there's more websites, there's more media platforms, there's more publications, and all of these channels need content. So it begs the question, why don't brands just make stuff that people want to watch? Well, of course they do. And I can't talk about this without talking about Red Bull. Clearly, their marketing strategy is built around content. And since its inception in 2007, Red Bull have been creating premium content in lifestyle, culture, sport, across digital platforms, television, and even print. The content that they produce is bought by broadcasters. Imagine having your ads paid for. They've also created feature films, so they've made it onto the big screen. They created the sequel to On Any Sunday, which is obviously the motorcycle film, and very in keeping with the Red Bull brand. They're not the only ones. Mother, who are going to speak in later, they worked on a short script about St. Pancras for their client Eurostar. That actually turned into a feature-length film when they got Shane Meadows on board, and that's what everyone knows as Somers Town. Frucht, another agency that we worked with, they were actually able to work with the script writers of Up in the Air at its inception, which meant that not only did they get the American Airways planes in the movie, but also their frequent flyer scheme was the one they talked about. And even the employees, the American Airways employees, were extras in the film. So this is clearly more than product placement. And it's not just the big screen that we see brands. Brands are also on the small screen. This is British Gas. Now, they don't just sponsor content on Channel 4, but they create content as well. So Home Truths, they're unique short films that live on their 4 Shorts platform, and again, fit with the existing editorial content that's there. And I think that's probably a key thing, mirroring that editorial style. And platforms like BuzzFeed do that really well. Here's a campaign that they did with Mini. And again, just mirroring that listicle style that they're famous for. And they're not the only ones. Vice Media, Vox Media also do very similar things. So working with brands to create content that really fits within their editorial platforms. I just want to quickly talk about distribution as well. It's also worth thinking about. So this is, you may have seen this film that agency Mr. President did for Body Shop. They worked with artist Alison Jackson to she creates the Lucky Like films, and they were just imagining what it would be like on Mother's Day in the royal family. But I think the interesting thing about this is actually Alison Jackson has a relationship with the Mail Online. Now, the Mail Online gets 5.4 million visitors every single day. So they were able to broker an exclusive deal, which meant not only was this content shared, but it appeared on this website on the most lucrative of days. And I think, so publications are taking, media owners are taking branded content seriously. T-Brand Studios is actually the dedicated branded content department within the New York Times. And here's an example of some work they did for Netflix when they launched the TV series Orange is the New Black. And again, keeping in the editorial style of the publication. And an independent review actually found that this content was in the top 100 or the top 1,000 articles within the New York Times, which is pretty incredible considering it's just an ad. So with that, I'm actually going to hand over. That was quite a lot of examples all at once. I realised that. I had a lot more, but I'm running out of time. So I'm going to hand over to Lisa Tukey, she's commercial director of Jamie Oliver Media. She has 20 years experience leading award-winning teams around famous magazines and digital brands. But it's her passion for food that's really she's made the leap from the likes of Grazia and Red and into Jamie Oliver. And then also Mark Boyd, who co-founded Gravity Road. They're an agency that exists to create things that people want to watch. And I think at only 2 years old has created BAFTA and Cannes Lion winning work for the likes of Bacardi Global, Sainsbury's, the Huffington Post and Cadbury's. And they're going to tell you how they use one of the world's biggest media platforms, YouTube, to own the search term cocktail. Over to you guys.
Brilliant. Great. I should say for the record, I'm younger than Lisa, who's got 20 years experience. But yeah. So just very quickly, our intro into our piece that we were going to do around kind of publishing is, as an agency, we are creating the bigger, polished, high-end, very creative content with distribution built in. So the recent Sainsbury's Christmas Jumpers film that we've done, which got to 28 million views, a large amount of that, I should say, thanks to Facebook here. But that was also, Daily Mail, and it was also the dads were actually on Britain's Got Talent the other weekend, and views on Gogglebox, great news and things like that. But we're doing more and more publishing, and the theme between both of these, as Cara was saying, is distribution. It's integrally important in everything we're doing, and that's why we work with partners like Lisa. So I could then just quickly explain a bit about a partnership that I think we're all very proud of. This actually came from a conversation we were having with Jamie in a green room at a Channel 4 event, because he had a YouTube channel, we had a YouTube channel. And the thing that we were very aware of, he was interested in alcohol, is that alcohol and search are particularly important battlegrounds, as I think search is for most of your brands over the next period. So we knew that people were searching online for brands, but not that many. We knew people were searching online for spirit generic terms, so whiskey and vodka and things like that, but again, not so many. But what they were really interested in was cocktails. And we knew if we could have a play in that kind of space and dominate search, so we knew there were 25 cocktails that comprise 80% of search, then we'd be in a really good place. We were working with Bacardi, came back to them, and the idea with kind of Lisa and team was born. So this was, for them, a portfolio play. How can we bring all Bacardi's brands in to kind of dominate the searcher space? And when we came back to chatting with Lisa, we all felt really comfortable very quickly about this bigger, longer-term partnership, because there are really some sort of shared values that both Bacardi and Jamie Oliver have, and we could create a really interesting partnership off the back of it.
Yeah, and I think for us what's really important, as Mark just touched on, is around having a relationship with brands and partners who are aligned with our values, that we can have a very long-term and embedded relationship with. And I think, Mark will probably agree as well, is that Bacardi Global Brands have almost become part of the Jamie family, and have been, part of that ongoing dialogue with our audience over the last year since the partnership launched. And that's our ambition actually for any brand or platform that we work with, is that they are very much embedded in what we do, part of that conversation, and that it doesn't just happen, you don't just put content out and people find it. It has to be a very long-term and embedded relationship.
And ultimately things that people want to spend time on.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lisa, we didn't quite coordinate that. We have some video. Would you like to talk any more?
Sure. Shall I just talk a bit about what we do? Why not? So Jamie, we talk about being a kind of a modern publishing empire, but it doesn't necessarily start from a very kind of digital-first platform or focus. Is that he comes from a traditional media background, in that he started on TV. TV and books is still Jamie's heartland and will remain a huge part of what he does. But he has been, constantly listening to his audience and ensuring that wherever they want to have a conversation about food, or indeed drinks in this example, he is in that place and making sure that he absolutely services that conversation. And to that end, really kind of over the last 15 years since Jamie launched, as a Naked Chef, he's built up this media empire. So, many of you will think of Jamie as a chef and an author, But the Jamie Oliver Media Group is a bit of a kind of a well-kept secret. But collectively, across all of I mean, this is not all of our assets here, we reach about 40 million people per month globally. And, you know, for Bacardi Global Brands, the partnership with us was very much born out of how can that partnership very much live across that entire media estate, but also bleed out into Jamie's restaurant group and also his retail and licensing business. So it's a, you know, when we say 360 partnership, it truly is a 360 global partnership that is absolutely embedded in every single thing that we do. And, you know, FoodTube was launched a couple of years ago. It's been incredibly successful. And then out of that was born DrinksTube as a sister channel. And then Family FoodTube launches next month. And then at the back end of this year, beginning of next year, we'll continue to iterate out of FoodTube and launch into new verticals, which for us is, you know, the future of our digital publishing empire.
If only we had a video, Lisa, to explain.
To explain that.
Yeah. Yes! The way. This is a new fantastic channel which is all about celebrating all things wet. We're talking wine, we're talking beer, we're talking about the very best cocktails, and we're going to tell you about it using the very best people from around the globe. Here we go. Catch. My mind's like, yeah. We need to start again. So, if you've seen something amazing in the wonderful world of drinks, then tell us about it and we'll go and find it. Oh, I love it!
The smell.
I like it.
And I feel in the middle of the spring. Actually maximises your enjoyment of the wine again.
And I can't wait! So guys, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now, tell your friends, share this on your social media, and welcome to DrinksTube.
It was really important to us that we got some credible, authentic, engaging content. And I'm sure lots of people here struggle, lots of brands struggle with that because increasingly, as everybody's going to more and more platforms, people are going, let's point a camera and we'll film whatever we're doing in our business and assume that people are going to be interested in that. And I think what we challenged throughout with this is that we would create something bigger and kind of more engaging.
And I think from a Bacardi perspective, what they had identified is that Jamie kind of democratized food and he made it accessible and authentic, and you know, he's kind of one of us, and so he made it accessible to everybody. And I think, you know, Mark and his team and Bacardi identified that they'd actually like him to do the same for cocktails, is that how can you democratise cocktail making so you can make it really easy to do at home rather than having to go out and you know, spend a whole load of money in a bar in doing that. So we hope that actually by this partnership and by the content that we've created and the relationship that we have with Bacardi is that we've able to unlock that audience and certainly be able to enable people to create fantastic cocktails at home sometimes with the things they've just got in the back of their cupboard.
Yeah. So that focus on the on and off trade, creating a kind of customer journey of content, scheduling what content we're going to create against that is kind of vitally important. So you can see from this, we are doing, you know, there's a lot of video that we're creating. Some of it's quite instructional, some of it is much bigger and promotional activity involving other markets. That extends then to the magazine, to Jamie's social feeds, to the cocktail section at the back of Jamie's cookbooks, to some products that we're going to launch, and beyond that as well. And the reason the channel and the content are really important, the reason we're doing all this, the thing that is critically important is to win in search. Because for a brand like Bacardi that can be outspent by competitors, that kind of land grab with new Google and Facebook and algorithms becomes ever more important. So having things, cocktails and content in the top 1 to 3 searches becomes really important. So the summary of the deal then in terms of how this works is we have been able to reach through content quite different audiences than the brand itself would have been able to reach. Like I'm sure many people in this room will relate to, that have switched on new social channels and then on day 2 gone, what the hell are we going to do in this channel, and who's going to care and who's going to look at it? We've created stuff to feed all of those channels. So it's done a tremendous job in terms of reach and across new markets. In terms of the content, we have managed to, as Lisa was saying, the core thrust of this was about demystifying cocktail making. And we've been able to bring that to life around particular drinks, around particular occasions, around particular need states and challenges. We've been able to bring that to life in a really interesting way. And the byproduct of the project as well is it's done an incredible job in terms of credibility as well.
Yeah.
So for the trade, it's been particularly useful that Jamie and the Bacardi ambassadors have been working really closely together. For Bacardi ambassadors who are out there in market and chatting to bar staff, and we've got bar staff all over the place trying to be part of the channels, that credibility has been really important as well.
Yeah.
And you know, at the end of that, Bacardi is now, you know, the biggest, in partnership with Jamie Oliver, the largest drinks publisher of content there in
fastest growing drinks channel in the world.
Fastest growing drinks channel in the world, and actually the last period, particularly with the new relationship with and new work with Facebook as well, as we're seeing that increase as well. But that's just one example of our kind of brand publishing approach, and it's something that we're rolling out with other brands. So we've been doing a lot of work with Sainsbury's and a lot of work with some other brands that we're about to announce shortly. But I think it's a really important a new way of behaving. Thanks.
Thank you.